is our most epic ride ever. Billy, our tour guide, promised us a 400-mile trip, the longest single bike ride that we'd been on, Kenneth and I. We were riding road, dirt, and gravel roads all the way up into Virginia. He also promised us no rain, but more about that later. So Kenneth and I met Billy and Chris in Eichard at Granny's Kitchen, and we had breakfast at about 7 o'clock. Then we rode to meet up with Johnny and Dave in Taylorsville. Dave had just got his Africa twin, and this was going to be his first ride on it. We were all ready to ride. We saw some of the most beautiful scenery ever. Lots of the roads were curvy with switchbacks, which really makes for a great day of riding. Funny story is, once we got into Virginia, there was a road, and I don't have this on video because my GoPro ended up dying and my SD card got full, so lots of technical issues. Still trying to figure out the whole moto vlogging thing. Working on getting a camera or a microphone for my GoPro, so hopefully I'll be able to narrate as we're riding, which will probably be even better because a lot of the stuff that goes on with Arsena's is hilarious anyway, but I can't ever remember it once we're done. But we ended up, when we got into Virginia, we saw a sign for the Hillbilly Hare Scramble, which is the Virginia series of hare scrambles. So we ended up taking the rode all the way through the hare scramble track, not on the track itself, but we ended up meeting the owner, who was super nice. And anyway, I just thought it was very ironic that we ended up at a hare scramble race on our dual sport ride. It was kind of epic and hilarious. So this was some of the gravel roads that we rode, and we rode a lot of different ones, and some of the gravel was really loose and a little bit harder to hold your line on, and some of it was like this, kind of harder packed and not as difficult to ride. We rode lots of different ones. We rode in the rain for part of the day, and funny story about that, we stopped a couple times, and when we would stop, I put on my rain pants the first time we stopped because it looked a little bit dark, and every time we would get to another place, it got kind of warm, and I would say, well, hey, I'm going to take my rain pants off because I'm getting kind of warm. As soon as I would start taking my rain pants off, you can see here, all the rain. But as soon as I would start taking my rain pants off, it would start raining again. So basically, they just told me to keep my pants on all day. And I would just have to keep them on because every time it would start. The good thing about it being sort of rainy and overcast was the weather was absolutely perfect, and the roads weren't dusty. So we decided, or the guys decided, to have a coasting tour down to the bottom of this trail. And so, of course, I joined in. However, my bike is much, much lighter than theirs. Theirs probably weighs 500-ish. Mine is 350, 375. And I only have 15 pounds of air in my back tire. So it, of course, did not go as fast as theirs. And you'll see here in a minute, Johnny passes me. I don't know where it is. But he zooms past me. And then Chris zooms past me. And I get very impatient. And I'm moving on pretty good. I'm not creeping, but I'm certainly not going at the same speed. And they are flying down this hill, and I was getting really frustrated. So this is where that in a little bit I get very upset and I decide to crank my bike. And not necessarily cheat because I was announcing that I was cranking my bike because they were all flying past me. And once I decide to crank my bike, I end up not really. So there's Johnny. You can see like he's passing me not too far down the course. And so I decide after Chris passes me here in a minute, I rode for a little bit longer and still wasn't going very fast compared to them. So I cranked my bike. Well, once I cranked my bike, I come up on a corner. I don't know. I think I was just very distracted by the fact that I was so far behind on this race that I end up crashing my bike. And my knee is still kind of jacked up. It didn't hurt my bike because I just got my new graphics on my bike. And I was kind of disappointed. I was like, oh no, I'm going to mess up my bike. But I laid it down, really jacked my knee up. And the only thing that happened to my bike was it bent my shifter up a little. But it was fine. I mean, I didn't even notice anything on the bike. And even after laying there, it cranked right up. So that was perfect. Um, but we have Cena's. So my buddy Chris heard me. I went down and starts asking me if I needed him to come and help me. And of course, I said yes. So right here's where I crank my bike. And literally like this next corner is where I wreck. Kind of crazy. And I don't even know what I did. It's such a stupid wreck. So then I like walk away from my bike for a little bit. I'm moaning. You can't really hear me, but but I'm like trying to walk it off because I did scuff my knee and hurt the outside of it. But my buddy Chris heard me on the Cena, and he come back to help me pick my bike back up. And then we got back going again, and I hopped back on it and didn't have too much trouble. Today I'm kind of hurting and sore, and it hurts to move and hurts to sleep. But that's life, and I got over it. And we still rode. We ended up doing 400 miles that day, so we actually did make our 400-mile trip. So it was a totally awesome day. Definitely going to have to work on trying to get the bike up by myself because I was very fortunate that Chris was there and that he was able to come back. But there's a lot of times that like Kenneth and Billy were so far away from me on the Cenas, like we lost signal, so they didn't even know that I had went down, and I would have been just stuck there until somebody come along, and I don't really like being helpless like that. So notice how my bike just cranked right back up. So I was kind of happy about that, but I figure if it knocks you off, you should get back on it and ride it. That's what my best friend used to tell me about her horses. So figure that applies to motorcycles too. And it died again, and I think I still had it in neutral maybe, because I'd put it in neutral to try to crank it to help it crank better, but never had any other trouble. Like I said, the shifter was, I mean, the clutch lever was a little bit janky, but other than that, nothing happened to the bike. None of the graphics got scratched up or anything. So it wasn't a hard crash. It wasn't a very high speed crash. just hurt my knee because it landed like on my knee and I was kind of stuck under the bike for a second. But racing dirt bikes, I've figured out pretty quick how to get out from under my bike when I'm stuck under it. Although my dirt bike only weighs about 200 pounds compared to the much heavier bike, but I ended up getting out from under it pretty quickly. And I think whenever that I told Kenneth at first, I don't think he really believed me that I had been down. I keep saying, like, no, really, did. So this is where that I'm explaining that I went down, and I'm telling him, and he's of course checking out the bike. But my GoPro's on the opposite side, so you can't really see us. And there's Johnny taking a picture of my war wound and of my knee. But I think Kenneth at first just thought I was like exaggerating and making a big deal out of it. And I was like, no, no, Chris had to come back and help me get my bike up. I really did. So you can't really hear us because we're talking on the Cenas. So we're not talking very loudly because they picked back up because we got close to each other. But this was a really pretty lookout that we were at too. So we were taking some pictures and things. So here we are taking off again. And I thought that I would be extremely nervous, like going around the curves after my small little drop. I don't really even want to call it a crash. It wasn't that bad. But I really did pretty well. Like I got over it pretty quickly and started taking the turns a little bit um, less cautious and more of a higher speed like I was doing before. It did take me a little bit though to get kind of over the scare of it, but I was definitely very aware the whole rest of the day that I had a knee on my left side. It was definitely painful, and today it's even worse. Johnny kept motioning me up, and I said probably it's like when I asked him later, he was like, "No, I want you to be closer to Kenneth in case you back again." He said, "I want you to be up there with you." Saying he had bugs in his ears. So at one point, he actually took his helmet off going down the road. He said, "Don't try this at home," which I'm pretty sure I never would. I'd probably crash my dirt bike. But he just kept having trouble like all day long with bugs in his